The solar system. The solar system is the gravitationally bound system comprising of the Sun and the other objects that orbit it, either directly or indirectly. Of those objects that orbit the Sun directly, the largest 8 are the planets, with the remainder being significantly smaller objects such as dwarf planets and small solar system bodies. Of the objects that orbit the Sun indirectly, the moons, 2 are larger than the smallest planet, Mercury. The solar system formed 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of the giant interstellar molecular cloud. The vast majority of the system's mass is in the Sun, with most of the remaining mass contained in Jupiter. The 4 smaller inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, are terrestrial planets, being primarily comprised of rock and metal. The 4 outer planets are giant planets, being substantially more massive than the terrestrials. The 2 largest, Jupiter and Saturn, are gas planets, being composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. The 2 outermost planets, Uranus and Neptune, are giant ice, being composed mostly of substances with relatively high melting points compared with hydrogen and helium, called ices, such as water, ammonia and methane. All planets have almost circular orbits that lie within a nearby flat disk called the ecliptic. The solar system also contains smaller objects. The asteroid belt, which lies between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, mostly contained objects composed, like the terrestrial planets, of rock and metal. Beyond Neptune's orbit lie the Kuiper belt and scattered disk, which are populations of trans-Neptunian objects composed of mostly ices. And beyond them a newly discovered population of sednoids. Within these populations are several dozens to possibly tens of thousands of objects large enough that they have been rounded by their own gravity. Such objects are categorized as dwarf planets. Identified dwarf planets include the asteroid Ceres and the trans-Neptunian objects Pluto and Eris. In addition to these 2 regions, various other small body populations, including comets, centaurs, and interplanetary dust, freely travel between regions. 6 of the planets, with at least 4 of the dwarf planets and many of the smaller bodies, are orbited by natural satellites, usually termed moons, after the moon. Each of the outer planets is encircled by planetary rings of dust and other small objects. The solar wind, a stream of charged particles flowing outwards from the Sun, creates a bubble-like region in the interstellar medium known as the heliosphere. The heliosphere is the point at which pressure from the solar wind is equal to the opposing pressure of interstellar wind. It extends out to the edge of the scatter disk, the Oort cloud, which is thought to be the source for long-period comets. May also exist at a distance roughly 1,000 times further than the heliosphere. The solar system is located in the Orion Arm, 26,000 light years from the center of the Milky Way.